I've been having them all week. I just want to say, I was asked a question yesterday up in the northern part of Ohio that was pretty astounding. Somebody said, well, you announced nearly 2,000 jobs in northern Ohio today. How does it make you feel? It makes you feel great. When you think about steel jobs in Lorain, it's a fantastic deal. And the people that are investing the money are really, you can't thank them enough. The 1,105 jobs in Toledo, in addition to everything else we've announced, I hope sends a signal in the Northwest that sun's starting to come up. It's good news, and we have a lot more things in the queue, a lot more opportunity to announce more jobs expansions, and I mean, it's exciting. That's what it's all about. We've now touched, like I say, 44,000 families with either jobs saved or jobs created, and we just keep plugging on it. We will have a very exciting announcement tomorrow. It will be an unusual one.
What is it?
We won't tell you today, so we invite you to keep your eyes open, and it should be fun, huh, Robbie? Yeah, it'll be really cool. I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm headed to New Philadelphia to talk about it. So saddle up the horse and start riding. I'd say, Jim, if you start riding now, you probably get there by tomorrow morning. Yeah, you get there by tomorrow morning. I'll take one or two.
Governor, this is the first time I've seen you since the election. As part of this reflection period that you spoke about an election at the last 10 days, do you think jobs, the message of jobs got off track due to you kind of facing the collective bargaining, being the face of the collective bargaining?
You know what? Look, we're always trying to provide a situation where we can have job creation, and that was really the effort of all that. But the people said no, and we're waiting for some ideas from local governments in terms of how to control costs so they are business friendly.
Governor,
a little bit about the CSEA contract. Why now?
I will only say that I think it's a fair deal for employees and for the taxpayers of the state. That's all I have to say about it.
Can the state afford it?
That's all I have to say about it.
How close are you on recommendations for a Great Lakes Compact, the new bill? Lawmakers say they're waiting for you.
I think there is a draft now that's being circulated, and but these things are subject to change. I think it's better to get it done right than to hurry it up.
Governor, you often mention Sears, and every time it gets a little more positive in your remarks as to.
I think it's very unlikely we get them. I mean, I just think in Illinois they're going to do everything they can to try to keep them there. I think, I said the other day, I think Rahm Emanuel will probably break their legs if they decided to leave. No, I actually think that Rahm will, it's one thing he doesn't want to lose, and he's a smart guy. And but we are in there pushing and offering, but you got a lot of other things we don't talk about. That one's in the news. That's why I feel like I can say some things about it. But it's really good to have a CEO talk about the fact that we have been very, very effective in our offers. That's why we got their attention. If we hadn't been effective, we wouldn't be there. So it's a good experience, and from this we'll learn other things.
When you talk about offers to a company like Sears, and you talk often about the hard work with American Greetings, Bob Evans, Wendy's, those sorts of things. When you were in Congress, I mean, you fought pretty hard against what was termed corporate welfare.
Yeah.
Now that you're governor and this is kind of the game, is it frustrating to you at all that this is how you have to keep companies here?
First of all, corporate welfare is when you get a special interest group to put some narrow provision in a bill that's just for them and is not a fair operation for everybody. I mean, it's kind of like an earmark, but this is an effort to make sure it's a win-win. I mean, when you're ROI positive 91% of the time in year one, you're creating jobs. That's fantastic. So, and look, there are things, there are companies that we have said we're not going any farther. And if you got to go, you got to go, because we're not going to get into a bidding war where we bankrupt ourselves. But when you take a look, and we'll have a report towards the end of the year on ROI and in terms of the amount of revenue that is being generated for the state, it'll blow your mind. We're going to make out significantly in terms of the kind of revenue that the state will gain by creating jobs and keeping jobs. So I don't see this as corporate welfare. I mean, if you give away the store, and look, I can tell you what some of the old deals were. some of the old deals were terrible. They didn't have any ROI measurement. They didn't, you know, just throw money at people. That's not what we're doing here, and I think it's good for the taxpayers, and it's the right thing to do. We're getting better and better at this.
Thank you. You talked a lot about bipartisanship in your speech today. As you look forward to January and February, do you envision inviting labor in and kind of addressing some of the issues that we went through this year that did not get resolved?
Oh, I'm still in a big reflection mode, Jim. We have to let some time pass and see what happens. Thank you all very much.